Good evening, cowboys, cowgirls, and outlaws. Welcome to the Slick Sixguns Network. I'm your host, Slick Sixguns, and I'm here to provide education, tips, and community for those interested in the Western shooting sports. If you're interested in stuff like that, be sure to hit that subscribe button and that notifications bell so you don't miss anything. Now let's pack our wagons and see what's being discovered out west. Good morning, cowboys, cowgirls, and outlaws. Welcome to the Slick Sixguns Network Facebook page. I am giving you a live stream today about some interesting stuff, and as you know, this is coffee and firearms that we are going to be talking about, so the two are going to be mixed. Anyway, make sure that you guys get your coffee out, because I know I am. Good morning. Good morning to everybody tuning in. Make sure that you guys got your coffee out. Please let me know in the comment section what you guys are going to be drinking, whether it be coffee, whether it be wine, beer, whiskey. Doesn't matter. Maybe you're at the bar, at the local watering hole, just catching up with friends. Love to know what you're doing also. Let me know where you're watching from, all that good stuff. Anyway, cheers. Well, I'll tell you what, we've been pretty busy the last couple of days, especially with our live streams, so I hope you guys have been enjoying the content that we've been putting out. I've also been putting out content on my YouTube channel quite frequently, so you can see that I've updated a lot of videos that are coming in, and you guys can go ahead and watch that. If this is something that you guys are interested in, if you like this kind of content, you can always support and assist with developing this content, because it is because of you guys that I even do this, and also it is you guys who make this content possible. So thank you very much for your donations. You can always buy me a coffee in the description below, and maybe you can sponsor an episode. Alright. So what are we going to be talking about today? Well, as you guys notice, I'm actually dressed in a different type of shirt today. And there is a reason for that. So I want to let you guys know that I am going to be bringing a firearm on the channel, and this is a chance for you to get to know me and me to get to know you, and you to ask questions about these firearms. And these firearms aren't necessarily going to be all having to do with SAS 100% of the time, but I do many shooting disciplines, and I focus a lot on the firearms somewhere in the 1840s, 1850s, all the way up to, you know, the early 20th century. So, you know, we are blessed to have different kinds of firearms that come on here. And the firearm that I'm going to show you today is no exception. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and show you this firearm. And if you've read the description, you'll know exactly what it is. It is a Gallagher Carbine. Yes, a Gallagher Carbine. I'm going to go ahead and show clear. This is a breech loading, single shot percussion gun. Very nice. Anyway, okay, so I'm going to give you an overview of this firearm, and then I am going to talk to you about a couple of things. I'm going to tell you how much I paid for it, because maybe you're interested in purchasing a firearm like this. I'm going to tell you my opinion of it. I'm also going to tell you about what I got it for and what do I currently use it for. So if you've been following any of these episodes, you'll kind of see we'll be doing videos, topics in that order. So let's show you an overview of this. If you would like to see, I have a nice flat butt plate here. It's got a patch box that opens. Nothing in it, but you could put something in there if you wanted. Nice straight stock. You'll see here that the lever has a latch that is spring loaded. So that is how it is retained. And you can see that the lever is relatively long. going down to the lock area, you can see that the weapon can go to half cock and then to full cock, and you're going to see that nipple on there. This is a 54 caliber weapon. Very nice. And you see that the barrel completely comes free of the action, fully exposed right there. And you're able to slide your round in. And I'll show you the rounds actually here in a second. And here is my rear sight, which you have the battle sight, and then you have the taller rear sight for you to shoot a little bit further out there if you wanted to. Round barrel. Going down to the front sight here, you're going to see that it's actually a rather firm and strong looking front sight. And then that nice big bore right there. I'll show you the other side here. You got the saddle ring right here, so you can actually hitch it to a sling. Very nice. All right. There you go. Okay, so that is the Gallagher Carbine right there. I'm gonna go ahead and grab my coffee and we'll start talking. Hope you guys are enjoying this episode, and I hope you're having an amazing day. Feel free to announce yourself in the comment section as you come on. Anyway, alright, so as I said, this thing is 54 caliber, and I am not going to give you a comprehensive review. I'm not going to give you a whole lot of history that is in-depth and by any means, may or may not be accurate, because I haven't done my research, and I'm going to try not to spout off information that is inaccurate, or I know that people are going to get upset at. I may say a few things here and there other than that. Anyway, okay, so maybe this is something that you are interested in purchasing at some point in your lifetime, and you've always fancied the carbines of the Civil War, and the Gallagher comes to mind, and you just want to go ahead and buy her and try her out. Well, how much are you going to pay for that? Well, this is not an original. I want to remind everyone of that. This is actually a replica of a Gallagher Carbine. It is made by Irma Work. To my knowledge, I don't think they make them anymore. Not even sure if the Irma Work company still exists. I have not looked that up. Anyway, but this is made by Irma Work. I know that for sure, because it says it on the lock plate here. And, it is a reproduction. What did I end up paying for it? Well, I ended up paying $300 for this. But I'm going to caveat that and say that I bought this in a private sale. Somebody offered me to buy it for $300, and I took them up on it because I figured I wasn't going to get much cheaper than that. Because as you see that, some of the carbines out there, like the Smiths, and other carbines like that, they're going to go upwards of past $1,000. Even if you're going for originals, you're looking at well over $1,000 sometimes. So I figured that what I got this for was a pretty good deal, and that's why I decided to end up purchasing it. So, but once again, this was a couple years ago, so don't go by me and saying that that's going to be the price now. But what I paid for it was relatively reasonable, $300. So I put it out there. So maybe you're interested in something like that. Anyway, have I shot this thing? No. I have not. So I am not too familiar with the accuracy of this thing, nor the functionality of it, other than I've worked with the mechanism a couple of times. It's relatively simple. So, you know, I have not shot it, and I haven't shot it mainly for the sheer fact of I really have been kind of lazy. I haven't had the ability nor the time to really go out there and search for the 54 caliber rounds that are needed to go into it. And on top of that, the casing is relatively unique. You know, I'll show you what the casing looks like here in a second, and we will talk about that. You know, I know that there's a few videos out there that have the Irma-Work Gallagher carbines at work, and they have their own complaints on them, and you know, all that stuff. But you know, it's to my knowledge, I think it's gonna work great. I just haven't shot it. You know, sadly, there's firearms in my collection that I haven't shot. You know what? That's okay. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to shoot them. It just means that I haven't gotten around to shooting them yet, or I've just been plain lazy. Anyway, so to answer your question, because I know I'm going to get it, no, I haven't shot it. But those of you who have shot Gallagher carbines, let me know what you thought about it in your shooting experience, and love to share with Grab. So. With that being said, let me go ahead and get out the casings, because I did say casings. Have to get it out of this pouch here. Alright, here is my Gallagher Carbine casing. It is not loaded, and you can see that there's a little hole back here so that the primer, when it goes off from the cap, or cap primer I should say, goes off, it's able to, much like any kind of cap lock, can still funnel in and reach the propellant. And obviously the bullet sits there, and you just simply put it in, and I will show you a brief function check of how this works. Kind of sleek looking. There's no there's a nice little rim here. I don't know exactly what that's for, but you know, it's very interesting to look at. So all you do is open it up like so. You take your cartridge, if it were loaded, you put it in just like that. Goes in like that. Slap it together, and you're able to full cock it and fire. And there you go. So, and then it can come out relatively easy. You know, I don't know what it's like when it's fouled up a little bit, but you can essentially pull it out pretty easy. Not too much of a problem there. All right. Anyway, there you go. So that is kind of how it works. You know, it will shoot those brass casings if it's specifically made to do that. From my understanding, those casings actually work pretty well. So, why did I buy this? Because a lot of people are going to ask, well, why Slick did you buy this if you really don't use it, or you haven't shot it, and you can't use it as SAS? To my knowledge, I've never heard of anybody using these for any specific category, because I know that all of SAS that I've seen, except for the Plainsman, have been cap and ball revolvers or cartridge rifles and cartridge revolvers. So I have never heard of a category in which you can use this, although I know that there are open categories that can be at the discretion of the match director or the club president or its members or something like that. So maybe this can go into an open category if somebody is so inclined to have that at their club. I haven't heard of anything at nationals or anything like that, so maybe they do. Where I've heard these most being used is usually in something like the North Skirmish Association, which specifically has to go with the Civil War and productions thereof. So, that's something that you probably want to get into with. But nonetheless, I'm sure at some point these did make it out west. Don't buy me 100%, but a lot of the firearms during the Civil War got moved out west too. So, or converted, used out west. So that's not to say that it didn't happen. So why did I buy it? Well, why did I buy it? First I wanted a Smith carbine, and I still do. Because I am interested in the Civil War and specifically firearms of the Civil War. The Henry 1860 kind of falls in line with that. So does the Spencer. So the Sharps as well, and some of its modifications. So for this kind of fell into that need of just a firearm in the Civil War, and you don't really see these lying around that often. So why I decided to get it was my interest in the war and because of its unique look and its function. There aren't a lot of carbines that really open that way. In fact, many of them are quite different in their function, action, and loading capability. So this is just one of many innovations that you're going to see that came out during the Civil War. But I have just not really seen it before, and I was lucky to find a friend who had one, because I thought that I would have been able to find one with doing an online, especially. So that's why essentially. What do I use it for? Well, I just that I haven't shot this thing. I really would like to use this in a category in the Western Shooting or something like that, or maybe even down to a South Skirmish Association practice match and see how it goes. And my understanding is that those guys are pretty strict on their firearms when it comes to who's using what. They want to make sure their units are correct with whatever they used in the Civil War. It's a combination of reenactment and target shooting. So I don't know 100% about the South Skirmish Association. Again, I'm not trying to preach the gospel of that. I'm telling you what I think I know. The videos I've seen on it, I have not actually gone to a match, but from what I've read online, what I've seen on videos is that it's like here to the units that they represent, and so if it did not kill Gallagher Carbine, any other kind of game, then you're going to recommend members that they do. Or they might even let them join together. I'm not sure. But it's just something to consider. Because if you are getting to specific North-South Skirmish Association, you want to double check what you're thinking about, that you actually do get the right card. Said they have like an individual category they can do, because I know that they do shoot carbines, that Gallagher is one of them. Anyway, I digress. That is what I intended to use it for and have used it for you. So let's talk a little bit about what I think of carbine. Let's talk about that. I think this carbine is my opinion. Do not take it as a whole. This is strictly my opinion in my alone. So, I'm going to get my... Alright, and listen, I am in a blue, so that I represent my union or type. I'm wearing my clothing. Just thought it was than my typical shirt. There you go. Opinion of this. I think it's innovative. I think that the barrel is extremely hot. If you several times, there is no hand on it. If you hold it to the receiver, it might not hurt your hand as much, or you better be wearing a glove. That for what you could use for, you know, understand something is easier than a loader. I think relatively is small, and you know, this cavalry, so it to be carried by a soldier or rode on horse. So I think it's just a very unique carbine. Is it my favorite carbine? No, it's not. I say that honestly belongs to Civil War carbines are that belongs to the, I think those are more interesting as far as just personality. She works. Oh, if you correctly, I don't know how accurate it is. I don't know how long I haven't. You know, it's shorter than I wanted to make sure that we were right. Anyway, yeah, in carbine. So if you guys kick out something other than the guns that I bring on, just say it just to you, and we'll sign today. She say that. Yo, description section is a link to our Patreon account if you feel like supporting us. Don't forget to buy me a coffee as well. It's cowgirls and cowboys. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did. And if you're looking forward to the next video, I'll see you on down the trail. Have a good one.